What the fuck? Hello, everybody. Morning. Welcome to my channel. Hope everybody sees that. Chris Wood here. I'm just tuning on for a minute to do this live update from being injured and tortured over the past 3.5 years. Medical treatment refusals, discrimination, and being falsely charged to cover up crimes and to prevent proof against me. Damage is done. I have no feeling or stimulation at all in my head. My full right side, I've been brain split, I've been skull split, lung and kidney damage, not being able to get any help, falsely arrested through the hospital to prevent me help and to aid them, the hospital, and OPP in covering up their crimes that they are guilty for. Back in 2019, I was shot by ex-OPP chief for speaking of their crimes, the human homeless trafficking and homeless exploitation for monetary gain from a place called the Morning Star Mission here in Napanee, and other crimes. As a result, back in 2019, before ex-OPP chief or commander left, at my previous address, I was sitting outside in August of 2019. It was approximately 3 p.m. too. Ex-OPP chief went by. He was driving a white Jeep Wrangler. He went by. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. They pointed something. They shot it. It went into my right ear. This was at my previous address on the corner of Center and Bridge Street here in Napanee. After that happened, stalking through William Bill Wooldridge started to happen. I would go out. Every time I would go out, this piece of shit was always right there constantly. Every time I would step out my door, he'd walk by my house sometimes 10, 12 hours a day. Every 15, 20 minutes, I would walk out my door, go downtown. He was always right there because I have his GPS tracking in me, plus I have the R&M in me from what I was shot with, which is police and military tech designed for the central nervous system. It also enables for invasive surveillance. This is how I am being injured and destroyed and tortured from the inside. This is why I am medically blacklisted to prevent me help, to prevent me proof, to prove that this has been done to me, which I've been saying since day one, since this happened. Complete and total skull deforming, complete and total face deforming, and changes with proof called a lie while being falsely charged through CEO, Livingston Addington County General Hospital, Wayne Coveyduck. Administration is involved. Patient relations had me falsely charged the first time for wanting doctors charged for the crimes that they are committing, and that was their way to deflect and try to put it back onto me in an attempt to get away with their crimes that they're guilty of. File falsifications, medical blacklisting, treatment refusals with criminal negligent intent. Like I said, having me charged to cover up their crimes that they are guilty of with and for the police. Lies against me about being suicidal, self-harmer, not true in any way, shape, or form. Lies about drugs, not true in any way, shape, or form. This is how OPP are committing their crimes and getting away with it above suspicion once they're implanting people with this shit. Lies and then using that narrative while they are torturing them, deforming them, and committing homicides against them to use that narrative to get away with it. The drugs, the suicidal, or whatever. Meanwhile, it isn't. It is homicide that is being done. And this is how they are getting away with it. Pontius Pilate fucking cops doing these crimes. Spencer Mills 14716, now allegedly Aurelia, he is a serial killer. ex chief or commander, year 2019 again. Staff sergeants, years 2019, 2021, guilty of kidnapping and sodomy, sex assault. Shannon Cork, face laugher over me telling her to arrest her boss as he went on to stalk my mother and murder her with Billy Wooldridge. Robert Ken Fuck Ken Kill Can Get Away with It, Money Badge Family Town Council Lucas. Robert Kane, Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston, and Shelley Huffner, all guilty of premeditated human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, aiding in homicides, committing homicides, using and harboring wanted escapee inmates, using dangerous offenders, using others upon charges for drop charges for aiding OPP in their crimes. This is how they are going about it and getting away with it above suspicion. The justice of the peace is even possibly involved, guilty of obstructions, guilty of possible corruption, making accusations about being high on marijuana and hallucinating, being sodomized because it was done through the police, through and her boss, possibly Billy Wooldridge, lives at 149 Center Street North, now bald glasses, approximately 60 to 70 years old, frequents the Loaf and Ale pub here in Napanee and coffee cravings. He is also guilty of criminally stalking and using R&M on my mother, causing cancer, causing her death with intent. As I'm doing this right now, all feeling and stimulation in the right side of my head is completely gone. It is ice cold on the right side of my body, right straight down. It's I've been split in half. If I could get to a hospital and I could actually get tests, this would prove a lot. I had no neurological problems or anything else prior to being shot. Then the lies, the time buying, the cover ups, and everything else against me. One way or another, OPP cops named, you are going to be charged and arrested for the crimes you're guilty of, homicides and attempted homicides with intent to commit, along with Billy Wooldridge, along with Blair Hardy, Tyler Teabag Lake, guilty of also murdering my dog, Jason Gimpy Two Step Van Alstyne, guilty of multiple homicides also, and guilty of murdering my dog with Tyler Teabag Lake. Also, a guy named Ray LeBlow lives on the corner of Center, or lives on the corner of Dundas and East Street, behind Mamma Mia's Pizzeria, has two white pit bulls. He is a child grooming stalker, drug trafficker now with and for Blair Hardy and OPP, who has a meth lab allegedly in Aurelia. They are allegedly associated to banditos and Hells Angels as well. The human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, children to pedophiles, adults to sex offenders, full identity thefts, financial thefts and frauds, falsely arresting to get pictures, prints, signatures for identity thefts and frauds, and I will not be proven wrong on this. Mentally fucking people up using psychotic pieces of shit who are delusional drug addicts who were working with them for the cops to aid them in their crimes. I'm not taking a fall for Blair Hardy OPP. I am not taking a fall for Billy Wooldridge. I'm not taking a fall for Tyler Lake or Van Alstyne or Tony Hearns or Dale Hartwick or Ray Ray or any of the other fucking garbage that's involved with this working with and for the police here. So I guarantee you I am not the only one this is being done to or have been done to. I've been completely and totally fucking lobotomized, brain injured. I am also the end of my bloodline as well, so you're guilty of murdering the entire Wood bloodline for OPP revenge. Be safe, everybody. Watch yourselves, watch your children, watch your finances, because Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police are very seriously dangerous, using very seriously dangerous inmates and drug addicts and others that they will not touch, cannot touch, because they work with them for them. They can implicate them. They want $22,000 extortion arrest for these pieces of shit, knowing that the poor, homeless, elderly, disabled cannot afford their extortions to get these arrests. Human rights, legal rights, medical rights violations. OPP are guilty of domestic terrorism and treason by using this to commit homicides, to lobotomize their victims, commit mass murders above suspicion. Spencer Mills 14716. Congratulations, because Chris Wood is pretty much gone. The damage is done from being injured and deformed, mentally fucked up for the past 3.5 years and not being able to get any help or do anything about it. Time bought, damages is done. You are going to see homicide charges, OPP, not a threat, along with the hospital that is criminally negligently involved and have been completely changing my fucking identity, lobotomizing me, deforming me, and getting away with it while I have proof and still being called a fucking liar. This is why OPP came to Napanee to commit the crimes that they are committing, because they know that they can get away with them here. Legal homicides, legal human trafficking, legal pedophilia, legal stalking, and everything else. The cops are the criminals here at Napanee. I had no association with any of these. I had no criminal record or history. I had no association with any of cops prior to me speaking of their crimes and being shot. Then the lies, the time buying, and cover ups, and everything else against me started. Way to go. Anything more happens to me, there has to be charges, even though there won't be. All right side of my head is completely burning. I get air blowing through my fucking head and my face all the time. I've even had my testicles tortured to blood. I've had my anus ripped open to blood from these pieces of shit. I've had heart attacks. I've been rushed to the hospital by ambulance and still kicked out to prevent me help. So, this is how they assure their crimes and getting away with it. Good job, you fucking terrorist bastards. Nice using low-life junkies to do this to innocent people so you can get back to fucking kids and get away with your crimes. Hit that like, share, subscribe, because this is very serious and important.